Hey there guys, this is Goshen, and on this video I'm gonna be showing you my Paralysis utility build for Wizard. This is mainly for group use. It has a lot of crowd control, so you have a better time surviving on higher torment levels, or maybe your party is just not well equipped enough and you guys want to go to Torment 1. With this build, you're gonna be able to do a lot of crowd control. You're gonna survive better, and you're also gonna deal a decent amount of damage. I'm gonna be leaving a link in the description to the Blizzard skill calculator thing, so you can check this build out, check the skills and the runes after you watch the video, and like whenever you want to change to this build, and also to share the build, obviously. So the main objective of this build, it all revolves around getting as many lightning damage sources per second hitting your enemies as you can, like the most that you can get, so you have a higher chance of proccing paralysis. So on the primary skill, we're going to be using Shock Pulse with Piercing Orb. You could use Electrocute, but I don't really like Electrocute because you have to, when you're using Electrocute, you cannot move yourself. So when you're doing Shock Pulse, you can just do that and that and that. So you have a higher mobility, and also you could use Living Lightning, but it deals less damage and has less range. It's like 10 yards maybe, 10 no, like 20 yards, 15. Piercing Orb has a lot of more range, as you can see. Then our main damage dealer is going to be Energy Twister. It deals 1000% weapon damage, which is a lot. We're going to be using the Storm Chaser rune, so we can turn Energy Twister's damage to lightning type. And it also has another awesome thing, which is the lightning charges. So each cast of Energy Twister will grant you a lightning charge, and you can store up to 3 lightning charges at a time. And when you cast a signature spell, so when you cast Shock Pulse, you're going to be releasing the lightning charges as a bolt of lightning, and that deals 196% weapon damage per charge. You can only have 3, but if you have 3, right, when you do that, like this little thing, that little orb of lightning, if you have 3 charges, that deals 600% weapon damage roughly. So that's a lot of damage, and that's yet another lightning damage source. Then you're gonna use Magic Weapon, Force Weapon, Familiar Spark Flint. This is pretty standard. It's just to get even more damage, for you to deal even more damage. You're going to be using Hydra, Lightning Hydra rune. This is yet another lightning damage source, and it's also kind of passive, like you just put the Hydra and she attacks things, so, and she will then be stunning things because of paralysis. So this is really good. It survives for a long time, so it's really good. And then you're going to be using Storm Armor. I use Reactive Armor, but you could also use Power of the Storm, but you'll be dealing less damage. But your spells will cost 3 less arcane power, so you can spam them a little more maybe. On the passive skills, the only mandatory passive skill is Paralysis, because that's what we want. We want to stun our target, so Paralysis is mandatory, obviously. But the other 3, you can use whatever you want. I'm using Blur and Unstable Anomaly just for survivability, because I'm actually solo and I'm on Torment 5, but maybe if you have more toughness or more healing than I do, you can sacrifice maybe Blur and you can get like Prodigy maybe, so you can spam Energy Twister more. Or you can get maybe Audacity or Dominance can do a lot of things. I'm using Enabling Will, and I think that Enabling Will is good for party use, because when you're in a party, your enemies are there, then there's the barb tanking stuff, and maybe a monk or a Templar, and then the range damage dealers are gonna be away from the enemies, and you're gonna be stationary. Unless it's an elite pack, you're gonna be stationary. So like that, you will get more survivability and 10% more damage. And that's kind of like why I'm not using Audacity. Like when you're soloing with this build, Audacity might be good, but when you're in a group, you're not really gonna be using it. So I'm just demoing it like you should kind of use it in a group. So let's go to actually demoing the build. All right. So keeps level 2. Oh, there's actually not a lot of guys there. Oh yeah, let's go to keeps level 3. That's where the enemies are. So you're gonna put the Hydra, and then you're just gonna spam energy twisters, and let's put the Hydra over here. You're just gonna spam energy twisters and your shock bolts. So this is really just what you do. You see, like that was a long stun. Alright. We need to put Hydra again. Yeah, as you can see, we stunned our enemies and we killed them. And as you can see, like this big guy, like he was stunned for most of the time there. And this is really the main objective of this build, is just stun the enemies. They stay there, and your barb and any melee tanks that you have, they will be tanking even better, because they can survive longer. If you have, like, for example, if you have, for example, like a demon hunter or another wizard, because your enemies are stunned, they're gonna be having an easier time also dealing damage and hitting their spells correctly. So I think this is a really useful build. Again, I'm gonna leave a link in the description for it, and I hope you guys like this video. Click on the like button, subscribe, maybe comment and tell me your opinions and how you're gonna use it, what kind of passive skills you're gonna use to complement your build based on your own wizard and on your stats. And see you guys on the next video. Bye.